One of the questions I often get when I'm working with all of you with your code is when things go wrong in your code. I'm trying here, I'm putting stuff on my pages, but you know what? It's just not showing up correctly. One of the really important skills that you'll pick up the more you do this and the more you work on projects and coding is how do I troubleshoot my own code? How can I find mistakes, problems, errors? How can I figure this stuff out without having to call a friend, call me? How can I do this? So I want to give you some things to first look for. How can you tell that something's not quite right at your page? And then how do I fix it? What are some common things we should look for? Right. So here we go. How do I tell that something's not quite right on my pages? One of the first things I look for is that the page content is not formatted as you intended. Um, this line was supposed to be blue. This is supposed to be an H1 header, but it doesn't really look like it. This is supposed to be a certain font, etc., etc. Knowing what your page was intended to look like and then trying to identify where it just doesn't match up for you. The second thing I look for is that the formatting continues for longer than you thought it should have. So, for example, you intended to make a couple of words bold on your page, but now somehow the whole paragraph is bold. You wanted to make only a few words a certain color, but now everything on the page is a certain color. So when formatting continues for longer than you thought, there's a problem. Let's go take a look at that. Number three, sometimes the page content is just missing entirely. You meant to put a paragraph of text there, but wait a second, where did my third paragraph of text go? Later on, we'll get to images, linking pages together. There's supposed to be a picture there, but the picture isn't showing up at all. These are some things that could clue you off to say, something's wrong here. Next, if at any point you see HTML code on the actual web page, that's a problem. We know that the code, the tags we've been putting in, should be formatting the content that goes on our pages. Well, if at any point you see HTML codes and tags and attributes on the actual web page, that's usually a pretty good indicator that something's wrong there. We messed up with the way that tags were formatted, what have you. So that's a big sign for me. Anytime I see HTML code actually showing up on my page, hold on a second, that's probably an issue. Right? So these are the four major things that I see. That your page content, that's not what it's supposed to look like. That content, that formatting should have stopped a while ago. Something's missing entirely from the page, or that why am I seeing this tag? Tags shouldn't be displayed on the actual page. I only should see them when I'm coding. So these are four major areas that I look for. And now let's try to take a look at, well, all right, what do I do about it? Okay. Here are some of the top, probably the 5 things that I look for whenever any of you call me over and say, Mr. P, what's going on with my page? Something's not right. Okay. The first thing I always check for is, hey, did you spell the tags and the attributes correctly? The tag is strong. The tag is HR. The tag is BR. Whatever it is. Did you actually spell the tags correctly? The name of the attributes. I know that we're starting to add more code to our library of things that we know how to do now, and I know that the code is getting a little bit more complicated, or we're seeing the same idea, for example, color, expressed in a lot of different ways. Keeping that straight is going to be really important. Knowing what the actual name of the attribute is. If you misspell an attribute or a tag, you might see the example of, well, it doesn't know this is a tag, so the browser will just put it on the screen, or it basically will ignore it. This text was supposed to be yellow, but because I screwed up the spelling of the tag or the attribute, it just ignored it completely because it didn't know what to do with it. So I would always first take a look at where you think the error is happening, and let's check the spelling of your tags. Secondly, let's check to make sure that the attributes are paired with the right tags. This just takes a lot of getting used to or referring to your notes as you're developing, that certain attributes get paired with certain tags. And we're seeing this also now when we've introduced the style attribute, style equals, and then we've done a lot of, like with text formatting, we've done a lot of things that are all style equals and then some properties in that style tag. But we're also going to see that some properties are standalone attributes. So some of the properties might be included with the style attribute, others will be included with an attribute called color or an attribute called a line or something like that. So let's make sure, first of all, that you have that kind of settled out. And then, are the attributes put with the right tag? Remember that when you pair an attribute with a tag, that formatting gets applied to that tag. So if you change the text color and put that attribute in one paragraph tag, it will only affect that paragraph. If you meant for it to affect the whole page, hey, that attribute had to get moved up to the body tag. So check to see that your attributes get paired with the right tag. Right? Third, and this is a big one, check to see that all your tags are closed correctly. With the exception of the couple of one-sided tags we've seen so far, almost all your tags come in pairs. A, did you close that tag at all? And B, did you close it in the right spot? There's a really good example of the fact that the formatting went too far. I only wanted to format this word, but now the whole paragraph got formatted. Well, where did you close the tag? Is the close emphasis tag, the EM tag, is the close emphasis tag on the other side of that text where you wanted the italics to stop? Or is there no closing tag and now it just kept going? The italics got applied everywhere until it found another close tag. So one of the exercises I will often do is just quickly look through my page and say, yep, there's an open paragraph tag. Where's the close for that? Here's an open emphasis tag. Where's the close for it? Here's the open underline. Where's the close? Just to make sure you match them up. One of the habits you can get into is almost immediately sometimes when I open a new paragraph tag, before I even put the paragraph text in there, I will close the tag immediately. Open, close paragraph, and then stick my paragraph text in the middle. Make sure you've closed all your tags correctly. Fourth, make sure the tags are nested in the correct order. Sometimes this does cause a problem where you just have a lot of tagging going on and that you haven't closed things in the right order. Sometimes the browser is forgiving, other times it's not. Right? So typically if you open a couple of tags on the left side of a piece of text, we close them in the reverse order on the right side. So if you started a paragraph and then a strong and then an EM tag, after the text you want to format, we'll close in the reverse order. EM, strong, paragraph. So make sure you're not, let's say, crossing closed tags. Sometimes that causes an issue. This is a very popular one that can cause either a lot of problems or cause stuff to just totally disappear from your pages. In general, quotes, angle brackets, and parentheses need to come in pairs. It's open quote, close quote, open angle bracket, close angle bracket, open parentheses, close parentheses. If you miss those, and especially recently I've seen missing closing quotes, quote, quote. If you don't close the quote, the page is going to look for the next available quote, and it would make that the closing tag. So if you think about it, you may have had some attribute set on the first paragraph of text, and if you don't close that quote, it will keep looking down your page, and then maybe 2 paragraphs down, you have another attribute that has an open quote. Hey, it just made the pairing there, and it's totally out of whack. So that's the other thing I often look for, is that if you're having an issue, especially with attributes, the color's not applying correctly, the alignment, the whatever it is, I'll check to say, all right, there's an open quote. Do I have the matching close? So those are common things that we often look at that could cause issues on your pages. Okay. On the next video, I want to take a look at some code and let's play with some of the troubleshooting that's going on there.